So, let's talk about Drop Beat Dad. This is Steven Universe. Warning. This video will discuss the episodes using all information available at the time of recording. If you're not caught up on the episodes that have aired as of this date, now's your chance to pause this video, go watch those, then come back. Don't worry, we'll wait. This is your spoiler alert. Marty the manager. Farty Marty, Slimy McShark Teeth. This man goes by many names, but to sour cream, he goes by Dad. Now, I know this is something that's so pithy that you can find it on everything from Father's Day cards to your aunt's Facebook posts, but there is a difference between a father and a dad, though they are not mutually exclusive. But let's roll back. Marty, Greg's former manager, first met Vidalia when he and Greg stopped at Beach City as part of Greg's Mr. Universe tour. While Greg performed on stage, capturing the attention of the lovely Rose Quartz, Marty and Vidalia were in the back of Greg's van, getting to know each other. In the end, Greg stayed, Marty left, and sometime later, Vidalia gave birth to Sour Cream, Marty's illegitimate son. Now, how present Marty was in Sour Cream and Vidalia's life is not fully known, but it's pretty safe to say that for Sour Cream's early development, the answer is not very, and for the last 9 years, not at all. In fact, given what we've seen of Marty, more on this later, and what we know of Vidalia's situation at the time, it's pretty likely that he never supported the two. In this, he's not just an absentee father, he's the literal definition of a deadbeat dad. But none of this matters to Sour Cream. Absent though he was, Marty's his dad. Or at least the idea of Marty. Most people don't actually remember their early childhoods, and based on his reaction, Sour Cream didn't seem to hold any or enough ill will towards Marty for leaving him and his mom for 9 years to keep him from being perfectly willing to pick up where they left off. This is the foundation on which his relationship with Yellowtail is grounded. His love and loyalty to a father figure he doesn't really know makes it so any newcomer attempting to fill the role of his dad can never do so and is someone to be resisted.
You're not my dad!
Yellowtail also has two things going against him that are more or less of his own doing. First, he slots neatly into one aspect of what Sour Cream expects of a father figure. Despite the fact that he seems to be a pretty good provider for his family, to the point that Vidalia is not only able to feed herself, Sour Cream, and Onion, but can indulge in the expensive hobby of painting, his work as a fisherman makes it so that Yellowtail is absent for long stretches. Not nearly as long as Marty, but still absent. You might think this is a good thing because it brings him closer to the mental mold of a dad that Sour Cream has. But what it really does is reduces the significance of the differences between him and Marty. Sour Cream, having no other frame of reference, might just see absenteeism as something that dads do. But of course that's not true, or at least that's not what matters. Certainly there are some jobs that take parents away from their children for long stretches, long-haul trucking, military careers, heavy rescue teams, and of course fishing. But there's more than one way to be a present and supportive force in a child's life. And that's where we hit our second problem with Yellowtail. For however much Yellowtail cares about Sour Cream, and I think it's clear to us at least that he does, DJing is a big part of Sour Cream's life. And the fact that he discourages it in favor of fishing is a major point of contention between the two. I 100% believe that Yellowtail's constant haranguing for Sour Cream to become a fisherman comes from a place of concern and caring. That he worries about him not being able to support himself long term. And that fishing, though lacking in glamour and expressivity, can provide a stable and secure lifestyle. But that also doesn't change the fact that as far as Sour Cream is concerned, Yellowtail is openly hostile towards his passions. Not accepting him for who he is, waiting for him to fail so he can just come in with a He's resentful. Not just because he feels Yellowtail is passing judgment on what he loves, but because Yellowtail is trying to take on a role in his life he's not entitled to. So, Sour Cream denies him what he wants. He doesn't call Yellowtail Dad, but calls him by his name. Not just saying it, but almost spitting it at him. This is not the best situation for either of them, but this is just a setup for all of this. Let's get back to the present. Marty has rolled into Beach City because he's legally obligated to give Greg his cut of the royalties for the Pepe's Burgers deal that evidently took place not long after Greg and he parted ways. But as soon as he realized that Sour Cream wanted to be a professional DJ and was enthralled by him, Marty put that aside to see if he could make his son a little more useful to him. He saw an opportunity and he took it. And I don't think he had any intention of seeing Vidalia or Sour Cream otherwise. If he had wanted to, he wouldn't have looked so off his guard when Sour Cream showed up. But he pulled up his car right to the car wash where no doubt he knew Greg was working and got straight to why he was there. Using the farce of making up for lost time and father-son bonding to guarantee Sour Cream's trust and complicity, he engineered the entire event right under everyone's nose in order to suit his needs. But along the way, we're given peeks at his disingenuousness and his exploitative nature.
You want to squeeze them until their eyes pop out. Real talk, real talk, real talk, real talk. Nothing less for my talented, soon-to-be famous DJ.
But however poorly Marty thought the music business treated Greg, it seems that it's treated him worse because he's no longer in it. He's a promoter for soda. As soon as the jig is up, the whole farce dissolves. And once the truth comes out, it comes out ugly. None of this was to spend time with Sour Cream. Throughout the entire episode, he was exploiting his son's affection and trust. But when things started to go south, he tried to use controlling language on him. You're lucky I'm even letting you in on this. Stop being so selfish. But Sour Cream didn't fall for it and kicked Marty to the curb. That, however, presented a problem. Since Marty was providing the setup, no Marty, no rave. Luckily, Yellowtail was watching from afar, keeping an eye on Sour Cream. He held on to his old equipment and, in a sign of support for Sour Cream in his hour of need, rushed over from his boat, grounding his smaller boat and bringing Sour Cream's old equipment so that he could do the rave. He even brought his fishing boat in to provide light and probably electricity. None of this was lost on Sour Cream, who stopped calling him Yellowtail or Stepdad and called him Yellow Dad and Dad instead.
Thanks, Yellow Dad. Good one, Dad.
However touching this was, it probably doesn't mean everything will be hunky-dory between the two of them. It's going to take time. One act of support or understanding can't make up for years of animosity. Or maybe it can. The Joker in the DC universe was always an example of how one bad day is able to drive a person over the edge, but is there any reason why it can't work the other way around? One good day, one positive act being able to turn a long term of conflict into a happy relationship? I have hope for these two. But that is that. Now it's time for a new segment, The Bits. This is The Bits, where we look at the little crumbs of lore, jokes, and inconsistencies sprinkled throughout the episode. Let's get started. When Steven is espousing on the noble profession of roadies, we see our example roadie with the rock star next to the toilet. Steven says he's there for moral support. Right. Some people bring home the bacon, Yellowtail brings home the fish. In a briefcase? I've heard of bringing work home with you, but this is ridiculous. Greg's rush to keep customers at the car wash and Steven's sympathetic look makes it seem that business hasn't gotten much better since previous episodes. Marty's shininess shows exactly what he is. All flash and no substance. Leaping liver spots, Batman! More and more, Greg resembles several hot dogs pretending to be human. What is this, a meme for ants? Marty's reaction to Steven's strength is perfectly reasonable. That is a banner big enough to cover an entire water tower, and he had it designed and printed in a matter of hours? Forget Steven's strength, that's the most unreal part of this episode. That is not how a mic check works. While avocado soda isn't a real thing, believe me, I checked, in Brazil, avocado smoothies are a thing. It's called vitamina de abacate, and I found a tasty recipe for it. Link in the doobly-doo. So that's it for this episode. Catch us next time when we talk about Mr. Greg. In the meantime, click here to hear me talk about sound design of Overwatch, here to hear what I have to say about Steven Floats, or over here to watch one of my other videos that I think you might like. Haven't decided which yet. In the meantime, I'm Victor Frost, and I'll see you next time on Steven Universe Universe.